throughout 2021. During this webinar and live stream broadcast across all our social channels, going to be making extensive use of the chat box feature. So if you're joining us through Zoom, let us know where you're coming from and what is your #1 commitment in 2021. If you're joining us on Twitter, on Facebook, or some of the other social platforms, comment on those as well too. Let us know where you're watching this from and what your biggest commitment for 2021 is at this point. We've got a lot of great content coming at you today, a lot of planning, a lot of awesome work that's going to help us put that garbage dumpster fire of a year of 2020 behind us and make sure that 2021 is going to be much better and much more geared towards success that we're all planning for this year. Without any further delay, I want to get her on for the webinar she loves doing the most, Miss Laurel Langmeyer. Laurel, you there, ma'am?
I am here. So you're going to look at my cute little picture today. Let's just kind of get it out of the way. Yes, I had an accident. I think we're about 9 days after post-surgery. And so, 2021, I'll just live without a spleen. So, and some broken ribs, and, we'll get through it. So I'll be back on video and live to all of you. But let's jump in. So again, this is my favorite webinar. I love really helping you set up a new year. December 15th, we did the beginning part of this. And we called it New Year, New You. And that was the beginning. Really, what do you do to start completing 2020? Then we gave you a huge social campaign, which we had nearly 1,000 people participate and went way, way overboard. We said we'd give away 111,000. I think it was more like 147. The guys went crazy. I think it's because I got, hurt. They just said, it's another week. Let's just keep giving stuff away. So it's all good. So here we are. We're going to do a little bit of just some really congratulations. Tons of you won. We're going to wait till a few more people get on. Let's get back to one of the things I want to do while we're waiting for a few more people to get on. In the chat, let's be very active in the chat today. What is your, I'm going to say #1 commitment, which I know it's kind of hard to say for 2021 because you should be looking at a lot of areas of your life. And, it shouldn't just be the one thing that you want. There should be 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you really, really want to conquer, achieve as we head into 2021. So what are some of the things, and Thomas, if you just want to chat the repeat of my question, what do you want in 2021? Obviously my, health has come to the top of my list. Not that it wasn't there before, but it is severely at the top at this moment. What are yours? And again, think about the different areas of your life. We'll be reviewing them and I'm going to take you through a process. So this is a lot of you were sharing in the Millionaires in Training group. You've been thinking about it. Come on, it's the 12th. What are some of your commitments? All right, fulfill the 100K challenge. I love that, Jamie Ann. Come on, we got to see a few more of you out there. Jeff, what do you want? Ron, what do you want? Ron, stay tuned. You're a big winner in this thing. Just because I knew your name. Increase your income. So be specific, Michelle. How much more? You want to scale your affiliate marketing to over 100. We can totally help you with that, Jason and CC. In fact, Thomas and I and the company, we were very committed to really hand selecting, a few of you and really helping you do it in our affiliate system, sell our stuff. We have been known to, be very successful with our clients that do what we ask them to do. And you sell our stuff, you can make a lot of money, make it a business. I made my first 4 years, almost 5 years, I made millions of dollars selling, the Rich Dad Poor Dad stuff. So you can do it as well. All right, and hi from New York, launch your business. So again, we're seeing a lot of, I say statements, they're not commitments yet. So be very, very specific. So like in your case, Jeff, what does get fit mean? What does raising healthy kids mean? Like we're gonna all dig deeper within our next hour so that we're gonna be together. Awesome. So let's go ahead to the next slide really quick, Steve, and just again, do what we always need to do, which is remind you, this is educational only. We will, and this one's pretty easy to stay right on that line because we're talking more general about your life. A lot of times, we are walking right next to a lot of tax, law, and financial conversations because of our team and our expert team that we have assembled for you in 2021 is just world-class. I mean, we had most of them through 2020, but added a few just in this last week as we turned the year. And I'd say you would want for nothing as you join our community. We have the most extraordinary skilled people that are part of this team. So let's go to the next slide. And here's what we're going to do in the broadcast today. We're going to talk about the New Year, New You. We're going to share some of our mission, our commitments, and then that gives you some modeling for how to do yours. Then last week, as an extra week, we gave you a bonus. Randy Tate was with Thomas and Steve sharing with you how to do a business plan, which was a massive, massive gift, because a lot of you've got to learn how to do your business plan properly. And then we're going to also just give a lot of awards, and we're going to teach you really how to use the awards. A lot of times we'll do these kind of contests. We've never done a social contest, but we did Wildcard Shuffle. We'll give a lot of awards away and gifts away, and then you don't use them. So we'll be more specific about how to be successful using them. So Integrated Wealth Systems, and again, Live Out Loud is actually the core company, been in existence since 2000, 2001. We really got rolling. And we're committed to creating and building wealth by changing the conversation about money in households around the world. And here's what I'd say about a mission. And there's a lot of vernacular in the world, like Tony Robbins, says you need a personal mission. So I'd say all of us are right. You're going to hear like Wayne Dyer say you need, a true purpose. So you're going to hear the words purpose, values, mission, a lot of those kind of statements used over and over and over. And here's what I would say, a blanket across all of it. We're all right. It's just how we use them to sequence our conversation a little bit differently. So the mission in our conversation is something that you're never really going to probably get done in your lifetime, right? You're going to take a really, really big initiative toward it. You're going to take, a huge amount of walls down. But will we ever change the entire conversation around the world? No, I don't think everyone is ever going to get that done. Same like Elon. You can say, well, he wants to be the first to space and he wants to figure that out. He'll take a big crack at it. He'll be the first, but will he ever be the one that actually, conquers it all in his lifetime? So a mission is something beyond you, right? So what is the reason that you want to do, especially in your wealth building and your business building? What's the reason you want to do it? And without this why, what we find is you kind of play, especially the money conversation, half-heartedly. You've really got to be committed to a mission way beyond yourself. The millionaires that we help make, the reason they stayed millionaires in 2008, 9, and 10 is they had a mission beyond themselves. It wasn't just about them getting their household handled. It was, they were there to help, build great marketing plans. They were there to help, with exotic cars. They were there to help with the greatest skincare, nutrition line. They were there to do something that's bigger, that was going to make a bigger effect to the world. You all know Randy. Randy's, mission is way beyond, is to teach you and allow the individual to do what, really billion-dollar stock firms got to do. So a mission way beyond himself, and to leave that software on the planet after he leaves it. So we just wanted to share that. And this is something you kind of be pondering for a while. You may not come up with it for a little bit, but just know that it's something that when you come up with it, it should be that thing that drives you and gets you up every day, every day, every day, right? There's not a finish line to this one. Now, as you think about that and we head into our New Year, New You and completion, let's jump back over to our social competition. So our social contest was more successful than we've ever done. Thomas, if you want to share a little bit about it, as we got more and more people on, excited to see you guys on and see your commitments out in the chat. But we have given way more than $111,000.
Yeah, we had 950 total entries, which is the most we've ever had in the Wildcard Shuffle. And we had 748 winners, which again is the most we have ever done. Total prizes, this is the highest number that Laurel and the team have ever awarded for a New Year, New You style contest. Over $146,000 in prizes for coaching programs, products, and services were awarded this year. And it was just awesome to see not only the participation, but people taking the step towards making that commitment, towards changing their conversation about money, right? We're always talking about how we're changing it from that mainstream math to that millionaire maker math. And Laura really put, her money where the mouth, her mouth where the money was, or whatnot. and did it this year, right? Helped almost $150,000 worth of education to people out there to help them do as such. So not only is Laurel committed to the community, but also making that happen and literally changing that conversation for people out there. So thank you to all of you for attending, for participating, and for promoting the contest to help us share our message at the same time.
Awesome, awesome. So let's dig into some of the detail of the prizes. If you were out here, congratulations. Here's what we're going to do. So first two biggest winners, right, is Dan Johnson and Scott, I'd say, Wart. You have won the biggest value, which is our 100K challenge, our coaching program. What that means to you is that you're going to jump in and we're going to teach you how to build a business either at a six-figure level or to create another six-figure income. So Jordan will be reaching out to you, congratulating you. Our team will be reaching out to you. It's really important. Oh, look at you. Dan Johnson's out here. Are you excited? And have you ever done any of this before, Dan? Have you made 100 as an entrepreneur before? Or will this be your first big thing that you do? So I'm glad you're out here. Scott, if you're out here, I'd love to interact with you as well. Not yet, but you will. Perfect. So Jordan will be reaching out to you. And here's how it works. I would make sure you've been to our event. If you've not been to our marketplace event, we have another one on January 21, 22. I would make sure you get that learning on your tool belt. Then I would start. So you literally get 365 days. So that doesn't mean it starts today. That means you and Jordan and your coach, which could be Thomas, could be Adam, could be someone else on the team, depends on where you're going to focus, Dan and Scott. And what we'll do is really make sure you're armed. You're going to have the blueprint. You're going to have the modules. I would, again, make sure that you go through our marketplace event and feel clear what your funnel is. Then I would tell Jordan, okay, go. Let's start the 365 days. So that might be, say you do the event next weekend, it might be you start Feb 1. Then you go 365 days. And our commitment to you is that you'll make an extra $83.33 a month, $8,333 a month. And how you do that, I don't know. We're going to build a funnel. You're going to learn the ask, tell, ask process. If you've learned it once, you've got to now perfect it. That's how it works. We got to work on your pricing. There's a whole year that we'll be coaching you through that. And Jordan is your point of contact, and we'll be reaching out to make sure that you have what you need to set up and when you want to say go. So congratulations and Happy New Year on that one. Those are the two big ones we gave away. And then the next ones, again, are not viable. You can't, there's nothing on our website about it. You can't go buy them. We do give them away. Like Cindy Shaw was our first to jump at our last event, was our first to pay in full for the big table. So she gets one. So we take the really initiative to give it away when we want to give it away, but it's called an expert money makeover. So what's that? That's where I meet with you individually, or typically Damon will be on the call too. And then we will see who on our team should be on your makeover. And then we'll schedule about half hour, 45 minutes. Sometimes it might be an hour to review with a certain segment of the team what your expert money makeover should be. And then we will do the makeover, which then sets you up with a plan that you can execute and get going. So that is like a makeover with a plan at the end. And Paul Kim, Corey McGeehan, Candace Lauderdale, and Linda Smith, you are the winners of our expert money makeover. So if you are out there, acknowledge that you are out there and congratulations. Again, you'll be reached out by our programs team. And again, if you've not been to our event, critical you are. If you have been to the event, it's going to be critical you're in the graduate program, because the graduate 399 is where you can come and sell and continue to practice in your fast cash. You practice in fast cash and you sell in the marketplace. There is no way with that graduate program you cannot win in a huge way in 2021. And anybody out there? Awesome. So there's Candace. Well done. Congratulations. Awesome. Linda's here too. So we're getting some of the winners out here, noticing that they are out here. And you will be assigned back into our team to make sure that you are taken care of, fulfilled, and you take advantage of this. So Jordan will lead the execution of the programs and what you won. And either Lavelle, Molly, or Kristen will be calling you and making sure you are set up, that you've attended the event. When we say event, we mean our marketplace. That is just such a huge tool belt that you need to know how to make money. It's critical. So even in your expert makeover, it's going to be urgent if you haven't been there. I know, Candace, I've seen you there. I believe, Linda, you've been there. Dan, Candace, and Linda, you three winners, put in a Y if you've already been to the event, or a no if you've not. I believe you guys have. So then it's just a matter of making sure you come to the graduate marketplaces to continue to make money. All right. What about you, Dan? Candace says yes. Linda, yes. All right. Dan, have you been? I don't know if Dan's been or not. We'll see if we're going to put a Y in there or not. All right, on to the next one, our real estate tour. So 2 tickets to our real estate tour, absolutely critical. And okay, good. So everybody's in the grad program, which will just get you making money. It's going to be exciting. I think that these first 6 winners you guys should be making money every week. It should be so like clockwork for you that you know, get up, brush your teeth, eat some breakfast, make some money. I mean, it should be that just regular part of your revenue producing day. And when we're done with you this year, that is our goal for you. As far as the real estate tour, we have 2 planned right now. We have one in Reno, currently is March 31st. And we have the other one in Boise, Idaho, which I don't have those dates in front of me, but they are in the end of June, around my birth week, I think. But Jim Hendricks, John Blakely, Catherine Augustine, Linda Smith. Oh, Linda, you won too. That's me, because you must have played the competition pretty aggressively. So you got extra tickets because people can win 2 things. And you win them by really playing in the social channel. You probably brought us a lot of people, so you had a lot more entries into the campaign. So there you go, Linda. You got 2 tickets to the real estate tour, and Muhammad Raim. So congratulations again on these. What I would say are the biggest giveaways and the biggest ticket programs that we give away. So congratulations to all of you. And again, when we call you, we'll be giving you the dates of the real estate tour. If those dates don't work, then we'll just hold and keep it notified in our system that you are a winner. And if we come up with more tours for the fall, which I know we will, then we will let you know when those are. All right, next slide. Well done. Congratulations. Look forward to huge success. All right, so these, I'm not going to read down all the names, but if you see your name, let's go through. I will explain what you won. 100K modules. So that is 39 modules, videos that Steve and I did. And it's really walking you through. It takes 52 weeks. And by the way, Dan and Scott, who won the 100K, you will be getting this blueprint and your modules as part of your program. So actually, I'll just real quick. So Ron, Jennifer, Scott, Marcelina, Christy, Judy, Ann, Vicky, Adrian, Lucas, and Jamie. And Jamie, you guys have won the blueprint modules. So you guys will have everything but the coaching. But Ron, I believe you, you're already in VIP or table. You're in one of those. So this will just be very additive for you. And you really want to go through each video. And it's a really deeper. How would you even describe how good this is, Thomas? I mean, it's week by week, it's quarter by quarter. What do you do? And again, you got to completely be ignoring what you need to do or not know how to do it to not win even getting the modules.
Yeah, what I love most about the 100K Blueprint modules is that it takes the guesswork out of what you need to do to make 100K, and it just makes it a process, right? And what I love, Laura, what you've done is that you show success is not an accident. Success is not a coincidence. There is a scientific process almost to it on how you get to that 100K mark per year within your business. And that's why I love that blueprint modules piece that you've put together, because it is so powerful, showing people the step-by-step process to get their business to that level. So totally happy for those folks getting that module or that module series and having them get access to that and see what they're able to do.
Absolutely. Then the next group, 100,000 Laurel Bucks. So what's that? That is 1,000 that you apply to a new purchase. If you are a recent purchaser and you bought, say, the 100K or big table. So there's some rules around how you use them. If you are very recent, we can consider that. Jordan, again, will run the rules on that, on how you use your 1,000 Laurel Bucks and what you can apply them to. But know that you've got $1,000 of credit with us and you can use it as appropriate. Now, these next ones, I love the next 3. So 21 days of building your wealth cycle. The big table folks really get this work. And on the 16th of December, we went through with the big table and really dug in deeply and went through the Wealth Cycles program. You know, what does it take to build a forecast, to build a debt plan? How do you get your true P&Ls, your balance sheets? How do you live by that gap so it's motivational? So this is a 21-day plan. We put it together just within the last year, and a lot of people love it and get enormous clarity, I would say, is what this is going to have you get, is a lot of clarity on how to build the bigger part of your life. So remember, your wealth cycle, your wealth plan is the big plan. And your business, just like you might own real estate, you might own gas and oil, you might own stocks, or you might own digital currency, is an asset. So a business, your cash machine, we call it, is an asset within the wealth plan. And a lot of you don't realize, like, there's layers to this. So this is the biggest layer. This is the biggest plan that you'll be developing for you and your family. So if your name is on there, welcome and congratulations. I see Jamie, and you've been on there now twice, a couple of times. Yeah, some of you are getting some doubled up, which is great. The next one we've been talking about, one of the greatest things I think we've ever built, is the Fast Cash Lifetime and Graduate Marketplace Lifetime. So that way we don't like doing the whole nickel and diming of small tickets. So what this allows you is to join Fast Cash calls, which are 3 times a week. And then every other week when we have our marketplace, you join the graduate. So next week on Friday at 3 o'clock, 3 to 6, and then Saturday from 10 to 2. So Friday, the 22nd, you start again and you join the graduate marketplace, and you get to sell again and practice like you learned in the event. So you get to come back twice a month, which is a minimum of 16 hours of selling. I heard you guys didn't even shut down the marketplace on Saturday till late on Saturday. So it's way more than 16 hours, wasn't it, Thomas?
Oh yeah, we had so many people on that we certainly weren't going to get in the way of that momentum. We held it open an extra 3 hours to accommodate everyone who was able to attend. Now, I'm not going to promise we'll do that every time because obviously that cuts into Saturday. But we will help everyone that makes to that marketplace. And if there are people who are there and people who are rock and rolling, doing those Ask Tell Ask sessions, connecting with other people, we will gladly keep it open to accommodate it as best as we can. So at a minimum, it is 3 to 6 those Fridays, and then 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific on those Saturdays that the Zoom marketplace will be open.
Yeah, so congratulations to those of you. Here's what I would say: if you've already bought the $3.99, which is that value, you'll work with Jordan and the team to just reroute to something else that you want. It's not like you're going to get the dollar amount. You're going to just reroute to something else or give it away as a gift. So you'll be talking to our team as you, I'd say, accept the awards that you've all been given. The last slide, let's get to the last big chunk. And then there was a bunch of games and books and all sorts of small stuff given away, but the 14-day business plan. So again, the 14-day plan, Randy went through that. Thomas went through that a little bit with you last week. And this is critical. You have got to figure, like, how do you operate? Like a business plan is like a map. I mean, you can get up and say, well, I want to go to, South Dakota, but you better know where you're starting from. So you've got to have that, what we call gap analysis. Where are you and where you're going? And your business plan is that directive. And this is a very operational business plan. I don't know how many thousands of people use it on a regular basis. And you have one. What's different about those of you that have access to it before is the audios, the Word docs, the formats, and all the structure to it. So congratulations to all of you. And we would love to see you finish them. Like the 21-day wealth cycles, that should take you no more than 2 weeks to get done. You can go the whole 21 days. We give you 21 days, but really, if you're aggressive, you'll get it done before Feb 1. Same with this. It should be done before Feb 1. You've already got a month under your belt, and we've got to get to it. We've got to get some of these done and then sent into homework at Ask IWS. Always send stuff there. We have several people on the team that are always looking at it, monitoring and knowing when you send it in. And when you send in really good homework, we absolutely know that that you're committed. Because what we ask you to do is real work, real planning that I'd say really successful people do. Thomas, anything else you want to add to that?
No, I just think it's I'm really excited to see what the winners of these products and programs are going to be doing as we start the new year. Ton of great education in that. And if you did not have a chance to win those, obviously something you want to consider in the future when planning out your business or just doing that quarterly review work. So looking forward to seeing everyone, their results, the momentum that they're building. And thank you all again for participating in the Wildcard Shuffle.
Absolutely. Do you want to put the homework link in the chat, Candace? That's what the link is again. And Marlon, you're so cute. No, they don't have to pay income tax. It is considered a gift. So you can gift up to $12,000. So nope, it's considered a gift and no taxes, but smart question. All right, so congratulations. This wraps up, again, our social competition and our wildcard shuffle. We totally, though, loved our social competition. So we're going to come up with something a little different, a little spin off of it, and we're going to continue to be doing that on and off throughout the year to keep your social engagement. And I think what would be fun, Thomas, is to work with the team to do just a variety of social channels, because I know we really focus this through our Millionaires in Training Facebook, but there's other social channels and other ways that we could do some fun, just contests and competitions, keep you interested, keep you interesting, and to this point, making commitments, not resolutions. So a lot of you notice that your resolutions or your statements, I'd call them, are not commitments. So commitments are smart, right? They're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're realistic, and they have a time sensitivity to them. So if they're not a commitment with those 5 components, it makes it just makes it easy to brush it away, as I'll say it that way. It's easy to say, well, it just didn't work, versus define why it didn't work. You know, was it not realistic? Do you need a different timeline? And here's the other permission I'm going to give a lot of you is to make a commitment and then adjust it as you go. Don't just throw it to the sideline. I think too many people throw away, things that they really want because they don't know how to go get them. And they're going after it in a way that, from the way we see it, you're never going to get what you want. But without some coaching and mentoring, you continue, I'd say, to hit your head on the wall. You've got to get some coaching and mentoring to say, turn around and do it this way, or leapfrog over the way you think you've been doing it, because you can only do what you know how to do, right? And you all know that saying. So we don't want 88 of your resolutions to fail or your commitments to fail. And we're coming in, in the next, 15, 16, 18 days. 156 million resolutions fail yearly. And again, lack of commitment to consistency, the right action. So that's where a coach, a mentor, someone who's already done what you want. Like, I can't imagine some of you heading out to do what you want to do and then just continue to guesswork at it, versus get some help from people who absolutely have done it before. And again, sequencing is a big piece. I brought that into, the work I wrote in the Millionaire Maker book in 2006, and then just continue to, I'd say, refine it. But sequencing means doing the right thing at the right time. And there is such distinction to that. Like, I will use debt always as the example. So many of you go and you're worried about paying off debt. Paying off debt is not what you do. That is not what you do first. You've got to make the money, this new money you're making, you spend some of it towards growth, get incorporated, get your, solo 401ks, your 401ks, get your credit cleaned up. There's some, foundational work that we always talk about you need to get done. And then you need to start getting it invested, whether you just park it in flip for a while and it can sit and trade inside the market until you have enough money to go do a real estate project, or get together. A lot of you that are new, you want, it might be 25,000 as a minimum to do a project. Well, why don't 5 of you put 5,000 together and go do a project and just start? Because if you don't start the investing side, you don't get the compounding power, which your money doesn't get in motion. It doesn't get in momentum. It doesn't double. It doesn't triple. It doesn't have, a lot of our millionaires, we're doubling our money every 5 to 7 years, if not sooner than that. So you've got to get in that wealth cycle, we call it, to get that right. So I would say for a lot of you, make a commitment to really break your pattern and recreate your money pattern this year. Like, really let us help you fix that so your sequence is right. And then, again, make the commitment to say yes and figure out how, without any doubt. So what that means, if you go to the next slide, I said, what does a yes moment really, what is it? And it is where you have no idea what you're doing, but you're not only going to look for the how, because here's what happens when you look for the how. You do the work. You think, well, I need to learn to do it, or I can't do it. That's not true at all. What you're doing when you say yes is you're looking for who knows how, and you're building a team around a project. Like, I would I say yes to tons of things. I don't know how to do the whole thing, but I know how to gather a team that can do the whole thing. And this will be a breakthrough for most of you. If you actually say yes, like how many yes moments? Do you want to say yes once a month? Do you want to say yes once a quarter? What do you want to say yes to? And how many yes moments can you say this year? And so let's just go to the chat and share a few. What are some of the yes moments you're going to commit to this year? Switching gears from the wild card and then social. Let's switch gears. Let's put some commitments in. So what are some yes? How many times are you going to say yes? And then for those of you who have a little more clarity, what are you going to say yes to?
And as those are coming in, Laurel, one thing I want to add, because you said this at the last event, and I think it's so perfect for right now. You're telling people you don't care what their story is, right? And you're not being rude. Essentially, what you're saying is however you got to this point doesn't necessarily matter. It's what you're doing in this moment to take the next step, right? And so many people could have had the, excuses, objections, whatever it may be from what they faced in last year, but that to this point does not have to matter in your ability and planning for success in this next year. So at this point, don't take your tendency sometimes to live in the past at the expense of the present. Live now, figure out what you're doing now to get to where you want to be. So as we have some of these yes moments coming in here, Dan says yes to a wealth mindset, yes to wealth education, and yes to take action.
Absolutely. And here's what I'm going to say about the mindset is the mindset is, really consuming, and not only just consuming it, living what we talk about in our marketplace event. Sometimes I look at what we teach you in that event and I think, oh my God, it's just world class when you get it, when you get the fine distinctions of what we teach in that event, where you learning to make money, learning to break that pattern, it will change your mindset. So the fastest way you're going to change your mindset with money is to put money in your pocket, right? And change your evidence, change your result, have a new checkbook. I'm going to say checkbook balance because that's how you guys hear it. But how we teach it is have a new P&L, have a new revenue model. Know that you're going to hit 10, 15, 20,000 a month in revenue in your business, not hope it, not, say, well, I'm going to give it a good try this year, right? That's not yes moments and that's not commitment. So when you really, really get the refinements and the distinctions, and we do have replays of that event at different levels. Those of you that are in the graduate program, obviously you're going to get a lot of refreshers every other week. So your mindset is going to be really defined in the action that you do. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Let's dig into the more like the broader part of your life and talk about this new year, new you. How do you complete and clear 2020? And for a lot of you, it's don't create a story. I'm just going to give you a few tips as we go down this. Don't create a story about what it was or what it wasn't. It just was, the things you want to do, and I'll get to this in a slide coming up, is you want to take out of 2020, just like any other year, what you want to do to start, stop, and continue to support what you really want in 2021, right? So a lot of people are creating, a story. I'm just going to speak to, somebody said that they had a health issue. I think that was Jennifer. Somebody said they had a health issue throughout last year. Yep, well, I have one too, but it's not going to define me this year. It's just going to be part of the journey of, probably, redefining how I'm working and how I'm doing a few things, and that's it. I'm going to get back to it. So watch the stories that you created around the whole COVID, being locked down. Whatever your experience was really was state by state, was county by county. Not everybody had the same experience. I can tell you that because I traveled a lot last year, more than I ever thought I was going to travel. And it's, just watch the stories. Anything else you want to add to that, Thomas? I think that's really critical. The more that story holds on, especially if it's a negative one, or that you use an excuse. Here's what I'd say it this way. I don't want you to use the pattern you created in 2020 as an excuse to keep it going in 2021.
Right. Yeah, I think that's great. And I think it's something that people really need to be careful about in their language and in their thought process is, what are you using for the reasons to what you're doing, right? Laurel talked about it just now. There may be something out there that you want to partner on, but you don't have the financial tools available to do it. Partner up with other people. Say yes, figure out how to do it. Don't let your story be the thing that keeps you from working towards what it is you want to get or accomplish. So I think this first bullet is perfect. Complete and clear 2020 and let's just move on. It was just call it a blank slate. We're going to start fresh this year and get rocking and rolling.
And what do you want? We're going to come into those 8 areas in a moment. And what will you commit? These are just questions. I'd almost screenshot this. Like, and you're going to hear us and get more and more involved in social media and all of our engagement with you is, how will you commit to it this year? What are your first actions? What will be different? Who will you model? Who's going to hold you accountable? I'm expecting our organization, our coaching, our instructor teams to hold you accountable. The other one, I could just keep asking you questions because that's what I do. But what excuses are you going to lay down and give up and notice that that's what's holding you back? And then what objections do you have to overcome? Some of you are going to have to overcome some objections that you've made up in your life. And, I got to put the good old friends and family in there. Sometimes your friends and family are not the greatest people to support you in this walk. You're the one that wants to act, think, and make money the way the wealthy do. And your family or friends want you to stay the same. And because they're like, now what are you doing? You're going to another one of those Zooms. You're going to another coaching call. It used to be, oh, you're going to another seminar, when we were out live. And we are coming back out live. We're going to be, we're doing a live table and real estate tour here in March. We're going to be doing a live table and real estate tour in June in Boise. We are coming out live. So what obstacles, what do you have to not do? So let's jump into some of the techniques. We're going to go through a few techniques on how to assure that you're getting what you want in the right categories, and then some structures to help you move forward. So if you want to move to the next slide, let's jump into my favorite 8. Actually, I think we're going to share some commitments. Yeah, I forgot about this slide. We're going to share some of our value commitments first, and then we're going to jump into the 8. So, these are ones that we review, and a lot of them have just stayed the same, right? Because we do our damnedest to do what we say we're going to do. Integrity is one of our highest values. So if we say we're going to help you do it, that's why we do our contracts so specifically. Dan and Scott, you will sign in under the 100K contract that this is what we're doing and this is what you're doing. And it's, pretty clearly laid out in the modules. This is what you're doing. This is what we're doing. We're not going to do your ask till ask for you. We'll teach you and coach you and help you script your ask till ask, but you have to do the work. We continuously strive to be world leaders in the financial and entrepreneurial literacy space. I would say bringing a Chris Klein is an exact example of some of the most cutting edge action you can do with digital currency right now, and how you can put it into a Roth, how you can put it in through your IRA. Bringing Jason Henderson and Tanya and Marlon, thank you again for that introduction. We'll be really ramping up. How do you do world-class insurance where really you're becoming your own bank? So that means we want to stay ahead of the curve in every area and make sure that we're leading and guiding. We serve you by providing alternative investment education. Again, so you're not just stuck in the 2 alternatives that the world knows, real estate and the stock market. We empower business owners and entrepreneurs to generate income, hence our marketplace. And that $399 lifetime graduate program, I almost think at Thomas and think, what were we thinking? What were we doing last year? That should be a year. I do. I think, did we just do that? We just did that. So maybe we'll expire it someday and then add a couple zeros to it. It's so valuable. And by the way, I just gave you a tip of how we operate. That is how we think. Because we know the stuff that's going to make you guys the money. And I'll tell you, it's coming to that marketplace over and over and over. We believe in our clients before they believe in themselves. I took that one out of Bob Proctor's playbook, who would consistently say, I'm going to believe in you until you believe in you. Because we see something bigger for you, and you keep operating in the same pattern until you decide to interrupt that. Let us interrupt it. You're going to get the same result. We promote straight and truthful quality conversations about money. I think you all know that about me. We just say it how it is. We don't do a lot of therapy. That lasts in about 7 seconds. We strive to always stay current again in financial and economic issues that affect our community. I think we absolutely just rocked the COVID downturn. We were first to market. We were first to summits. April 14th, we were the first one to come to market with a summit. Come to market, what was it, March 11, 12, 13th? I know we were in Reno on a table that dwindled fast. People flew out from that table, or not even the table, that off Wall Street event, faster than I've seen anybody exit ever. It was like the world was on fire. And starting right away, I think it was that next Tuesday or Wednesday, we did daily broadcasts, and we go for hours teaching you about money, what to do, how to do it. We had more people 10x in digital currency. We had most people who actually got flip and did the market the way we told them to do it. We're making between 40, my son's Roth, I did about 78%. We rock real estate markets. So I think we nailed that. I don't think we could have, looking back, if I look back as the owner and kind of creator of the content in the community, could we have done anything different to have provided you a better guide or a path, especially March through the fall? And then it just kind of became the same benign bullshit. But during that time where nobody knew what the rules were, nobody knew how to do mortgages, nobody knew what to do with that, I think we rocked it. Don't you think, Thomas? I think we killed it. I think
yeah. And in fact, I know, Laurel, that you had many of your contemporaries reaching out to you looking for advice with the model that you shifted to, because literally, yeah, the seminar industry fell out, and it is a perfect example of how to pivot and how to provide value to people in a new environment. So yeah, I don't know anybody that did it better than you this year, to be honest.
I'd say us. I think it took a damn big team. And I think the other thing too, which, was we had, we stayed in our lane, keeping it about the business and the economy of business. And we're going to keep it that way as we head into next year.
Right.
And giving you clues, like, what do you do? Will there be another stimulus package? There will be. What does it look like? Don't know. I promise you we'll be the first to market on a broadcast on a Tuesday during an Ask Laurel, and we will bring the experts to the playing field to let you know what to do. A lot of you missed it. We were talking to you, you weren't taking the cues, you didn't get incorporated. I can tell you, if you still, even though you missed 2020, if you're not incorporated, you cannot apply. And in fact, you probably blew, you need a year of financials. We could have grabbed 2020 and now we can't. So some of you, I think that has got to be a shift for you. We told you step by step what to do. And this isn't I told you so. That's not that conversation at all. But just notice what you let get in the way. And then when the market plummeted, which it will go again, there's a massive bubble undercurrent in a lot of markets right now. And so when they plummet is when you need to be ready. You need to have your cash. You need to be ready to divest. You need to have your money in flip ready to go. Not, oh, I need to get a flip account like on a checklist. It needs to be done and funded. Your Roth needs to be done and funded. So I would really get serious about the checklist. And if you're having troubles with some of the things we ask you to do, I mean, that's where, just keep coming on Tuesday if you want to, stay on the outside of the playing field, or get to your coach, get to the laser calls, and let us get that really, really certain for you. So you have the money ready. It's going to bounce again. Promise you. And I mean, all of us can't wait, because the minute we know that it's going to move, we'll let you know. You get out, you can get back in at a lower price, and you'll make tons of money. Some people will make millions during this next bounce. So be ready. Don't be those people who say, yeah, it's on a checklist still. We aim to innovate and constantly improve. We're constantly doing that, and we dedicate to growing and improving our Live Out Loud integrated wealth system. Integrated wealth systems really is our brand. It's just an easier way to say what we do. It's not the core company. It's just the new URL we threw up there, and it says exactly what we do. We love it. But again, there's a big lesson in why we didn't change corporate structure, but that's longer and more for the big table community that want to know a bigger corporate structure move. But we are committed to this community, its conversations, and its results. So super, super excited. Candace wants to know what Flip is. Again, if you want to maybe put the webinar link to meet Randy, then we can put that out there. But it's a software that we use on our accounts to buy through to the market, so we get out safely when the downturn happens. All right, let's get to some areas of your life. Steve, if you want to move forward in the slides. And I just did all of this with my kids. So 8 areas, and this is all from the old coaching world. Any of you that ever been to a coaches training program or coaches, process, there should be one more up there. There we go. So I write these down, and we do them. And here's how I do them. I thought, well, I don't think I've ever done this broadcast from home, but I'm in my, little position I can sit without hurting my little stitches. But here, I'll come live for a little moment in my little GME light close. There you go. But I want you to see this.
There she is.
There we go. See, look, this is my daughters. and we do these stockings. So we do these very cool stockings, and the stockings are a fun way that I started when Logan was 2. And it was funny this year because he has every stocking since he was 2. And I'll tell you what he's loved now at 21, right, is to go back with his way, all the way from his funny handwriting to, what was important about, going to kindergarten, making a friend, to, you'll go through this, Thomas, but it is a fun way just to write out. So it just has like here my daughter's name at the top, and it says 2020 with a line down the stocking, and then 2021. So you can do whatever you want. We've done this. It was kind of fun. So Tristan's got, 14 of them. Their first, couple years don't really count, but, at 2, you let them draw and put stickers all over it. And then it doesn't get as significant, but you start these conversations. So as they grow, that's not like a weird conversation to stretch into these areas. So here's what, these are different areas of your life. Any coaching, Tony Robbins writes about this, Bob Proctor writes about it. There's no one, Wayne Dyer, Jack Canfield. I mean, anybody who's in the coaching, life development, personal development space talks about all these areas of life. I picked the top one, and that's the category we work on. Now we leak into the second one because your career and business and your personal development is a huge part of how it's going to affect your money. So those are our 2 conversations, and that's what we carve out of here. And that's all you're going to hear for the rest of the year. So the rest of those, you're going to hear them this time, you'll hear them next year. But I do think the rest of these are critical. And I don't say to balance your life. I don't think you balance your life. Balance, if you actually think about it, is a scale. And balance means stagnation, right? You're trying to hold both sides steady, is how I interpret balance. So I don't like that word. I like have it all. And the truth is, if you think about your day, you can have it all. Like right now, you get 100% of me. There's no other thing I'm doing right now, right? So this would be in my money and business category. You get 100%. Well, I have to take a little tiny percent out for my health because like my body can't like move without it. But then you look at your health, and when you go to the gym or do your health workouts, you need like go be 100% focused there. That's why I love, I always love skiing because there's nothing else you're going to do. You're not going to be on a phone call and skiing all at the same time. You sure in the heck aren't going to be on a dirt bike and on a phone call. So I do health things that are very focused and not chitty chatty, right? It's your space. Whatever your spirituality is to you, I call mine God, whatever you want to call yours, but whatever that spiritual work is for you, what are you doing for that? What do you have for goals for your family this year? And whether that, but I'm going to jump back up. So personal development for your kids is, really, really set goals with them to do some development, reading books, doing this stocking. Now this will hang in Tristan's room. And, I'd say quarterly we'll look back through it. And, what does she want to do? She's dancing right now. It's her love of her life. So a lot of this is about her doing, specific dances, winning competitions. Some of the family stuff is for us, I'm jumping back down there, is, going to see if they got 17 cousins, going to wherever they're going to see cousins. Are they going to see other family members? What are we going to do as a family? So setting those kind of goals. What's your significant relationship goals? Completely. Yes, your significance part of your family, but you got to carve that out. Physical environment. A lot of people forget that. It's where you live. It's how you create your space. And how you create your space is what supports your space. So some of you love everything filed away, or like my buddy Steve out there, I don't think he ever operates on a piece of paper. I, on the other hand, operate on a lot of pilot systems. I know where everything is. I like it very visual. That's how I created, my brain, how to do it. Someday, if somebody teaches me how to do it on technology, I think Steve's committed to it because he's sick of my paper. We'll figure that out. But your physical environment, it is for how you organize, how you're efficient, how you structure from your home life to your office life. To some of you, how you drive, your vehicle is important to you. Where you live, to me, the mountains and water are critical to me. So that in physical environment supports you, doesn't support you. A lot of things like Tony Robbins will add things to physical environment, meaning physical state. Like, do you listen to music? What are you doing to put things into your mind? Are you listening to podcasts? So physical environment is anything that creates the state by which you can get motivated. By the way, do you get up and get excited? Are you, I love plants. I have tons and tons of plants in my house. Like, what gets you into a state, whether it's calm, motivated, excited, only you know that. And your physical environment is a huge part of what that means for you. And you do the best with what you have, because some of you have, fantasy island. I mean, I would say like our organization, we had a huge physical environment shift in the last 2 years. We went from a 12,000 square foot state of the art 3-story beautiful facility at Lake Tahoe to a very different office, to a more of a warehouse office space. And that was a huge shift for our whole team. And, now we're in our rhythm. We know how to work there. We know how to do it all. So I share it pretty openly, because I don't think enough people take into account, like think about, I just thought of this too, the amount of you that had to go home and work and you don't have another place to work. Take that seriously, right? Take that super seriously. Like, what does your home office look like? Do you like to go to it? Do you hate it? Do you, where do you tend to go anyway? When the weather's nice, I know exactly where I go. I go out to my wide open deck next to the mountain. So why set up a huge, office? I mean, it's there, but I'm not setting to go work there. I don't want to be there. I'm not there very often anyway. It's fine for a few hours, but it's not where I am. So take this one very seriously. Anything you want to add about that, Thomas? I just think that home workspace, I just thought of that. And then if you have your kids home, because your kids haven't been allowed to go back to school, like take all that into serious consideration when you set this year up.
Yeah, I think now more so than ever, your work-life balance doesn't exist, especially with Gartner now predicting a doubling of the number of remote employees for 2021. That's not going to be there, right? So your physical environment and the way that you manage it is probably more important than it's ever been, because there's going to be an ever blurring of the career, the personal, the work-life balance, literally from that physical perspective. And so I think it's really important, like Laurel said, to really be cognizant of what that looks like and what your goals are for it. Because, I'll tell you, as a parent of 3 kids under the age of 5, you have to be very conscious of how you are working at home in these days, if you don't have that outside option.
And sleeping, right, Thomas?
Yeah, there's that whole getting sleep thing too is nice.
Like another thing that's really simple, like Tristan's will be going into her freshman year this year, really important. I would love having people over to our place. So she wants to take one of our rooms and make it into a total like tech, LED lights up the side, like a fun, just I'd say hangout room, with from Xboxes to Wii's to whatever little technology. She's got every damn technology in the planet. She can rock out to music there. So like, we're going to get that done in the next few weeks. So she wants to be the place where everybody wants to come, and we're going to redo a whole room just as like her teenage hangout room. And she can do whatever she wants. We put a little refrigerator in there already, so they can have the little sodas and whatever they want and snacks, and don't have to be, with parents. So like, take all that stuff serious. And, I think, I say it all the time, and I don't think you have, a personal life and a work life anyway. As you become an entrepreneur, you have a life. So that's probably why we make such a big point of this, is how do you get this all done? And again, your friends and family, friends and fun, what are you going to do for that? And those of you who used to say, I'm going to travel and go to different countries, a lot of that's banned right now. So what are your alternatives? What are you going to be doing? So instead of I can't do it, what are you going to do? So look at all these different areas, and here's what I want you to do. I want you just to write down what we're going to get to, what I call ABC goals. And the thing to look at when you're looking at 8 areas of your life, you don't want to overset too many things. Like, you don't want 10 things in the money category, 10 things. Now you have 80 things to do, which is sort of a setup for success. It's okay to have like 1 thing in some of these categories. It's okay to have 2 things in some of these categories. What you don't want is stagnation in any of these categories. But if you've had like a great kind of spiritual routine, or what you've been with your significant relationship, and that routine, that's all working, then it's a continue. And then I would just say, are there things you want to add or take away or adjust? So let's go to the next. We have 3 techniques that we're going to go through on how to build out a really more integrated plan. Again, using our integrated wealth, we'll say your integrated life. And how do you get to have it all? So number 1 is, as you write down the things you want in those areas, right? So you have all the 8 areas, you're going to go through them and write down, like, what do you want in each of those areas? Then you're going to say, now, as you look at them, so in December, we went through this and we said, write down things you did in 2020. So if you didn't do that, you're going to go backwards a little bit And it does help to just do, like, you say, why do we have 2020 on Tristan's stocking? Because on 2020 was what were the things that she was really proud of that got done, right? And things that got done. And so you look at what happened in 2020 and you say, well, what do I want to start doing that I should have started doing? And I don't want to say the should have, but you want to say, what could I have started to do? What do I need to stop doing? Because I'm sure there's got to be interesting COVID coma behaviors that happened. And then what do you want to continue to do? So what do you want to start, stop, and continue from what you did do last year, and then from what you want in 2021? And some things you just want to stop. Like, it's not I'll work on it. It's I just won't do it anymore. And some of you, like, if you just did that rigorously and stopped doing some things, like, here's some that I know a lot of you allow, especially those of you who aren't used to this blurred, work, home, everything's all at one, physical location, or one space. Is a lot of you are allowing other people's interruptions to create your life. So you're waiting for people to text you and email you, and then all you do all day long is respond to everybody else's request of you. Versus, are you driving your revenue? See, some of you, when you say pattern interrupt, you're not going to get up. Like, I would highly advise you to say you can get up and drive things on text or emails, but notice if you're responding saying, yeah, I'll get that to you today. I'll get that to you today. I'll get that to you today, or I'll handle that for you today. Why are you other people's assistant? Right? Now, if you're their coach or you're their mentor, that's a different relationship. But are you reacting to everyone's response to you and requests for you, or are you driving your behavior? That's a huge shift for a lot of you. A lot of you, especially you, I'm going to say you moms, you have been reacting to everyone's request of your time, and you're last, and you don't get your stuff done, and you wonder why you're not winning, right? So this is critical. Start, stops, and continues. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot of them. Just notice the things that, especially the inherited behavior. We talk a lot about that when we talk about money. Notice the urgency to pay off debt. Just stop. Just don't do it. So as long as you go through the building, leading the wealth plan and the business plan, when you make X dollars, you're going to spend it this way. And you have a plan. So you don't have the urge to say, well, I got to go pay off that old student loan. It's only 1%. No, you don't pay off 1% money ever. That's like so slow. You don't do that. That's like really, really, that's bad. Right? So start things that you've wanted to start. And this is rigor. A lot of this stuff, I say that you can read it and it sounds kind of casual, but when you really think about it, a start and a stop means you begin immediately and you stop. There's be no energy. There'll be no thinking. That's probably the other thing. There'll be no thinking or dwelling or storytelling about it. And some of you are big storytellers. Oh my God. So stop that. And then there are a lot of things that have had you be successful. So continue them. So technique number 2 is divide them into ABC goals. So take the 8 areas. And again, you'll be able to look back at this replay and go back through and then do this activity. But I learned this from Bob Proctor. Like, what are the A goals? These are the non-negotiables. These have got to happen in 2021, right? They have to happen. A certain financial goal, a certain personal development goal, a certain, spiritual goal, a certain health goal, like certain things, like these aren't negotiable. You're not going to negotiate the way. You're not going to I don't have time, or, whatever COVID or the next strain or whatever next thing's going to happen to us, or, whatever is going to come about. You're just going to say, isn't that interesting? And stay focused, right? There's no one who controls you or your household more than you. So this is where you really got to get clear. The B goals are I'd say really nice to have, wants to have, right? They're second in line. But if you had to give up something, you're giving up the C goals. So it's a way to take, let's say, 3 things you want in your health area and put some priority to it, sequence to it, and then do that in each area. And again, just watch the number. I mean, if all you did was, 3 things in 8 areas, you got 24 things to do. That's a lot. Then you divide them here. You have, and here's what I would say though, if you have 24 things, you don't need to say, I have 8 A's, 8 B's, and 8 C's. You could have 10 A's, 6 B's, and the rest C's. So it doesn't have to be balanced. It has to be what you want. So the other thing I would advise you and really encourage you to do is do this with your coach. do this with your mastermind. Those of you in the big table, take this back to your masterminds, and it's fun to go through that as a whole group, not only to get to know each other, but to really support each other in a more holistic way. But also go through it with, your family. Like, I went through this pretty rigorously. I mean, Logan left his stocking here because we like to post them where we post them all the time. But he transferred to a journal this year, and had a lot happen in this year. He had a huge year, transitioned college, transitioned football teams, went through the hell of living through playing, college ball and a bowl game, through the COVID restrictions, and moved to a journal for a lot of reasons. Actually, a lot of his players did. His coaches encouraged it. So he took his stocking, right, everything he wanted in 2021, and he put it into a journal, and then divided them now into ABC. She just put ABC next to it. And then look at your start, stops, continues. And then the next one is always, it can be used in any area, but our gap analysis is what did you accomplish and what do you want? And the area we're going to be focused with you is income and assets. Right. So we have two areas we're going to focus, which is income and assets. Two larger categories is money and personal growth. Like what are you doing to grow your business so you're making the kind of money that you can invest the way you want? All right. So these are the three kind of techniques we would walk you through. And again, you're going to get the replay of this. Really set yourself up. This whole process is not in building, leading, protecting. So don't think this is a business plan. This is more of a personal and a family tool for you to put with you and your family. And then the business plan is for you and your business. The wealth plan is your overall wealth of your life. Anything you want to add, or some of the things going on in chat? I wasn't really watching chat while I was teaching that, Thomas.
No, there's just a lot of people saying that, reiterating their what they had done last year that didn't work, and loving how your approach to this. I love that the idea of the start, stop, and continuing of the goals, right? Having a real honest explanation, a real honest review of what's working, what's not, what do you need to continue? Because I think there's a lot of that as you get older, things change. Some of those goals aren't as important anymore. And just be really honest with, do you still need to be reaching for that, or can it change? So loving it. And I love this next slide too, about the gap analysis, putting really, to the next step of how we're going to get there.
Yep. All right, next slide. So those of you, again, if you want to put the homework link out there, we'd love to see your homework on this. We love seeing what you're doing and how you're committing and using the tools. And here's what I also say. If you don't say you only like one or two of the tools I just gave you, then make up your own. I made up the stocking thing. I made up some of this stuff. So make up something, but do it. Don't just let year after year after year after year go by and not do anything, not set a goal, not have a new result in your life. And a couple things that we have that are massive January specials. And again, those of you, here's how I would use this first offer that's coming up. If you've already been to our meetup and marketplace, it is something that we created again in April last year when we went down from stages, and we did it once a month, and then we went to twice a month. We're going to continue twice a month as long as we keep the amount of people coming. With 1,000 new people that went to our social, we have plenty of these to do. Our goal is to ramp it up to have 80 to 100 people per show now. So that's a huge ramp up for us. The next one is the 21st and 22nd, which is next Thursday and Friday. And then in February, we have a few weeks in between, the 11th and 12th. And again, those of you who have been, it's world class. Our goal is to help you make money. The fast cash calls are 3 calls that happen during the week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you're not making money and you've been to the event, you really, really need to be in fast cash. There's not another process going to continue to work with you. And it is a process. Some of you, you're really new to these funnels. You're new to pricing. You're new to asking for money. Some of you, you're actually, I'd say, got comfortable and you need to ask for more money. We do have our 4-hour what we call our first aid kit. That's still out there. I still think that's critical. We may be substituting that with something else as the these next months unravel, and we'll see what happens to the economy. Taxes, again, we'll be the first to let you know, and we'll build some courses around what do you do. I think the stimulus packages, I have a feeling, are going to be where we need to be doing a lot of work with a lot of you. The next part of the slide, Steve. So bonuses, it's been a $97 ticket. It will stay a $97 ticket. Sometimes if I'm on somebody else's summit, I'll do a 2-for-1 for 97. We will continue that through 2021. It says 2021. Sounds weird to say that. But right now we are doing a January bonus for 21. We made this up a few weeks ago. I just said, let's let them do it for $21 for the 21st, for 2021. So it's MMM for the Millionaire Maker Meetup and Marketplace 21. And if I was you and you wanted to give this away, what an extraordinary gift. So if you have people who have birthdays, Valentine's Day is coming next month, whatever you have coming up, I would buy a few, put them in your ticket roster. You could let Molly and Jordan know, who oversee the list of the registration who's coming, that you're buying it for a friend, you're buying it for a gift, you're buying it for a son or daughter, you're buying it for someone who needs to learn this. So I would use it as a quick buy. It's huge discount to put some in your, call them a gift card, call them a really discounted gift card and use it later for someone else. If you've not been, this will go away in January. It'll be used for next week's and then it will go away. We will always have campaigns throughout the year, but you never know when we're going to do them. So make sure you take advantage of this. If you've not been to the event, it's critical you learn to make money. Some of you, it's interesting when we look at the Expert Money Makeover, and some of you through the year that won it, here was your makeover. It took 2 minutes. Go make money. Like there was nothing else to teach you. Yeah, you needed to repair your credit with Eileen and you probably need to get incorporated, but you were so heavily hit or whatever happened to you, it happened. You didn't even have enough money to buy a company, to get an entity. So your makeover was go make money so you have enough money to buy an entity. So don't be those people. And if you are those people, then it's a so what, now what? So that's where you are. Get here and demand that you learn to make money. And some of you, you're here and you've been here a couple times and you're still not making money. So the only way we know how to break you through that is get to those fast cash calls and get vulnerable, and don't sit out there in silence and hope it just magically, pixie dust sprinkles on your little head and it happens one day. You're going to have to open up your mouth. You're going to have to talk. You're going to have to let us hear you so we can give you some coaching on what you're doing to yourself. So there's the link. Go to AskLaurel.com/MMMM21. I would stock up, maybe buy $100 worth, $105 worth, buy 5 of them, give them away as gifts throughout the year. We won't expire them if you choose to use them that way. Now, if you've not been, we're going to really push you to get to next week and get there right away. Do not let this year go by not knowing how to make money. Now, the next one is for all of you who have been somewhere. You have been to the event. So again, right now it's $3.99. You already heard me say it. I think we should add some zeros. I'm a little surprised at us that we did it. But it's selling like hotcakes and you should take advantage of it. If you've been to the market, if you've already been to the marketplace, this is your graduate program. This is where I would say this is like your gym membership. This is where at least if you can't go all 3 days a week to the fast cash calls, go to one. Go to the Monday call, go to the Wednesday call, rotate, whatever. Pick one time that you can go, get some refinement in what you're doing with your business and your ask till ask, and get back out to the graduate marketplace. So your next one would be January 22nd at 3:00. Next Friday, 3:00 is when we see you. The next one would be, Feb 12? We'll see you at 3:00. So just build this into your calendar and say, I have a place to make money. See, we took away all your excuses. Those people, I can't make money. I don't know who to call. Well, I love when Adam just teaches it this way. You have your phone. You have tons of people. You have a database. It's in your phone, and you have enough with your phone and this structure of $3.99 for a lifetime. And you know what? If you don't use it for your whole lifetime, fine. But at least it gets you in the pattern of making money. Cannot stress that enough. Once you make money, then we'll get to the more fun conversations. Where do you invest it? How do you save in taxes? How do you, make money inside your companies? How do you raise capital? Like all these, what I say, bigger fun conversations really don't apply to you yet until you get this one handled. So just get this over with, please, and just make some money. Thomas and Steve, you're a huge part of this ongoing, I would say, process to continue the growth. What would you guys say about this offer?
I like the way you just said it. You know, it's almost like a gym membership, right? Everything you would need to take care of what you need to get done business wise. We give you a marketplace and we give you feedback loops for coaching. If you're not crushing it with your offer, you need some help with your ask, tell, ask, your talk track, your expert statement. This is when you take all the coaching and the marketplace access. I think it's less than like a dime an hour, and that's just for the first year. Like this literally is the best offer we've put together for people not only looking to make money, but to have the actual chance to connect with other people on a Zoom marketplace. So we're having amazing results with it so far. We had a number of people attended again last Saturday for our marketplace, and kept it open late because there were so many people having momentum, wanting to go ahead and accommodate that. So I love it. I love being on the Fast Cash Call Thursday where we do the model ask, tell, asks, as well as being on that marketplace, helping folks out. If Steve is there, he may want to go ahead and hop in and talk a little bit about his Fast Cash coaching calls. Coach Steve is another one of the great resources here on the team, and it's very instrumental on those Monday and Wednesday calls for Fast Cash coaching as well.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Thomas. And I will say that probably the biggest thing for these Fast Cash coaching calls is that we really help you sequence your revenue producing day. You know, a lot of us are doing a lot of interesting things with our new year, new you resolutions when we really need to transfer and commit to sequenced action items to really get our results. So that's what we're here to do for you. And that's what we're going to help you with.
Yep. And again, just looking through the chat, you don't need to talk to anyone about the lifetime offer. It's pretty explanatory. You go to every graduate marketplace every Friday and Saturday, every time we have a marketplace, which will be 24 of them. And you go to Fast Cash calls. If you're already in Fast Cash, then again, you get it, but you may not be in the graduate. So just go to that link, buy for $3.99 and get moving. So, I mean, what we know we have put together for you, and I think 2020 gave us the opportunity because I wasn't on the road to, I'd say, I shouldn't say slow down because we sure in the hell didn't slow down. I'd say focus because we were all together as a team on a more frequent basis. Say if we were going to really sequence your experience, you need to go to the event, you need to go to the graduate marketplace, and then from there you buy up. You get coached in an acceleration program, you get to the 100K. And again, Dan and Scott, congratulations on winning those two. Super excited to work with you guys. And then the, signature program and process for us is to be in the big table where you continue to work on all of this and just keep refining and refining and refining. Millionaires continue refinement. They continue refining their portfolio. Some jump up like a Tim and a Justin, and raise their hand and say, I'm going to go for it. And I want to raise capital and go, I know Tim's, because I'm part of that process is going to go, we're going from 28 million to 52 million this year in construction, building massive fourplexes, apartments, huge apartment developments, developing land, tons of projects. Same with Justin. Justin's doing huge performance real estate in the Kansas market, Missouri market, Ohio markets. Yep. So, but that stuff, that big stuff doesn't happen. If you can't run a simple company and make like what we call simple money, 5,000-10,000, you're not going to get the big money. So we know how to sequence you. Some of you don't like it. Some of you say, well, I just want to skip to the big stuff. Well, what do you have to work with? Now, the only people who get a skip to the big stuff are the people who might have sold a company. Like we do get a lot of millionaires who actually made their million by saving and very conservative processes, had big jobs or jobs for a very long time, and now are at the investing side of their life and the tax and the legacy planning side of their life. And they don't want to build a big company. But here's what I would say to anybody, no matter how old you are, 6 figures is not a lot of money. It's $8,333 a month. Like I know every one of you could figure out in a blip how to spend that kind of money. Yep. So let's get you past that 100,000 mark. So you feel like, you always have that extra money. If something comes along and you want to buy it, you don't say you can't afford it. You say, all right, I'm going to turn up my cash machine dials. I'm going to turn up the marketing and sales. I'm going to make a bunch of money so I have more money to buy what I want. That's the mindset that you want to live in. And that's the mindset we're going to be teaching you as we move into 2021. So again, if you want to click back one, just so you have the slide before, Steve. Or actually, let's just do this. Thomas, put the MMM to $21 offer. This is this offer. And then Anything else? There's just one big thing I want to close with, which I'm super excited about, is McGraw-Hill has picked up Kyle and my book. Super excited. It'll be the 4th book in our Millionaire Maker series. He and I now have a lot of work to do because it's a very different book when you're published highly with a New York firm. Super excited about that. And one of the things that my daughter Tristan said, she said, "Mom, how come we're not selling enough of my filing cabinets?" So she and I did a tour. It'll come out more in our book called Moms, Daughters, and Money, where, and she actually built a bunch of them over the holiday. And they're normally $40, but they're clear, very cool packages of how do you put together a vision? How do you put together just a financial structure for your kids? I mean, where they're like these folders that you open up and you put together, depending on their age, what they want with their short-term money, what do they want with their vision, their long-term money. Do they want to buy a business? Do they want to, put money into whatever they want to buy? I mean, she's coming up within a couple of years on a car account and executing her car account, to then really learning cost of goods, insurance. So there's a whole filing system that we put together that we did on that. So if you want to go to the next slide, I promised her we'd put this back up. And if you want it's really for kids, but honestly, some of you adults that are a little unorganized, the financial filing cabinet. So has a whole bunch of extra value to it. And it's just how to put it together. So again, if you go to askworld.com/filing cabinet, it's $20. We say this week, but we're going to probably keep these campaigns going through the end of the month. And then in February, you'll see some bunch of new stuff coming out from all of us. So I wanted to put that out there for Tristan. And she's, getting excited. She thinks she might teach some of your kids some things this year. Is one of her things she wants to do. And my son will take the more advanced kids on and teach them accounting. I want to go back one slide because I did see we put on that bonus that was kind of a last minute ad, is those of you who do the graduate marketplace. And for those of you who bought it before, I'll honor this bonus. I forgot we put this bonus on. But our reading rooms are something that I'd say they're in the archives. They're up on our stores, but not a lot of people go out and find them. It's me interpreting each book to you. It's 8 hours of me kind of reading the book. So we value these at $800. So you're going to get the entire Cash Machine reading room process and program when you do your $399 as a bonus for being at our New Year, New You. So, and those of you who have bought it in the last few weeks, we'll make sure we honor that and get you that bonus as well. So get out to the links, take some action. Our team will be calling all of you winners and making sure that you have access to what you won as well, especially those of you that are in bigger programs, when the dates and times are and how you get there. Please always go to homework at askiws.com. Share with us what your goals are, what your 2020 one's going to be about. We'd love to hear about it and know about it and support you with it. Thomas, anything to add?
I'm looking forward to see everyone in the marketplace every other week from those events, and looking forward to seeing you all build the momentum towards your 2021 goals.
Absolutely. Thanks for all being here. And thanks the integrated team, Thomas, Steve. I know there's a huge team behind that has supported getting this whole call together. And let's have a huge 2021. And we're going to end on 1:21 p.m. Here we go. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you all.